Okay, in this video I'm going to show you all how to make a checkerboard floor, and I'm also going to show you how to 3D your doors and windows and maybe briefly make a skylight. For this activity, it does work pretty well to have an actual ruler that can measure either inches or centimeters. If you want really big checkers like I'm going to do, you could do it every inch. I'm going to go ahead, or you can just eyeball what you think are equal measures across the back. And I can't really see my fifth one, so I'm going to leave it at that. So I have right here 4 dots that are equally distant from each other, equidistant from each other. And now I'm going to go ahead and take my straight edge and go from the vanishing point to that dot. And I'm going to draw forward to get, you could call them floorboards or stripes on the floor, however you look at it. And for every one of these dots, I'm going to go ahead and make a line that heads forward across the floor. Now, if you make these two really big, like I did across the back, you're going to have nice wide stripes. If you make them narrow, you're going to have, or closer together, you'll have more stripes, and obviously they'll be closer together. So here we go. Go ahead and jump over the edge, and oh, that worked out well. It looks pretty nice with the stripe that ended up at the side there. So that is how you do your basic floorboards. You could color every other one, you could do wood detailing on them, whatever. But if you want it to look like you have a checkerboard floor, then I am going to go ahead and just eyeball it so it looks like a square to me. It's actually anything but a square, but it will look square like when you move your straight edge and kind of go, okay. The other thing you need to remember is that the ones that are closer to you are bigger. So as you're drawing, make sure to make them a little wider as you come forward or smaller as you go backward, whatever way you're planning to do this. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it like that. There we go. Okay. So as you can see now, I have a checkerboard floor and each row is getting smaller as it goes backward. Okay, so it's a lot of fun to color in each one of those. I'm not going to take your time by doing that, but you can color in every one dark, leave some of them light, or however it works for you. Okay, so in terms of 3Ding the door, you can either 3D it and make a door jamb, or you can actually make a hallway. To make a hallway, you just actually extend these lines horizontally and voila, you have a hallway. But to 3D this doorway, all I'm going to do is I am going to make a rectangle that sticks out from the corners. Okay, so I am lining up my straight edge right at the edge of my paper to get that horizontal line here. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a vertical line to make it into a full rectangle. That's just like, kind of like it's a door jamb, I think you call that area, or like the, there we go. So I have a perfect rectangle, nothing fancy about it. It's not using the vanishing point, just a nice rectangle. Now from this point and this point, I am going to make a line that heads to the vanishing point. But this time I'm kind of drawing backward compared to what we've done so far. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the line forward. And now you can see I have the top part of the door jamb. And I'm going to go do the same thing here. I'm lining it up from the vanishing point to that corner. And I am going to draw a line that gets pulled forward. Now, so now it looks like I have like the outdoors here, which is kind of nice. I'm just going to shade this really fast so that you guys can kind of get a good glimpse of what that looks like, right? Okay, so now it's a little bit shaded so you can kind of see those spaces a little bit better. So they're getting wider as they come toward us because they're larger as they come toward us, right? So there's more you can do here, but for now that's sufficient for me. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing to the window space over here. So it's a slightly different shape, but it actually is exactly the same activity we just did with the door. I'm going to do a horizontal line sticking out from the furthest 2 corners. And it's tricky. You need to make sure that this is horizontal, parallel to the horizon, or it will look wonky. Okay, and now I'm going to finish that off, that box off. by making a rectangle there. Okay, now from these farthest two dots, I'm going to go ahead and make a line that comes forward, but it's lined up with the vanishing point and that dot. So that will give me the bottom of the windowsill right there and the top of the windowsill up here at the top. And the idea with using the vanishing point is that you will make those shapes get a little larger as they come toward you. And all of these square and rectangular shapes will make just perfect visual sense as I go forward. Okay. Now, obviously windows have a lot more going on. Often the glass is sunk right here in between it, and that wouldn't be hard to do at all if I wanted to make it look like there's a pane of glass there rather than just an open window space. I can go ahead and add that right in. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use my vanishing point again to make a little line that comes forward to show the pane of glass. Easy to make a rod. I like to make a rod sometimes to show the like a window, like something for a curtain. Okay, let's do the traditional window marks. Like you always see in cartoons, they have little sideways marks. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to show you was how to do something like maybe a skylight or a line of light. Maybe I'll do both just because it's fast and it's easy to do. So I'm going to actually start at my furthest spot for my skylight. You can start at the closest vertical or the furthest vertical. Really, when you're drawing anything, steps 1 and 3 could kind of be flipped. So here is the beginning of a skylight. And now I'm going to do step 2, where I go use the vanishing point to make the lines that would normally be parallel. Okay, so I'm using my, I think I'm going to end my skylight around there actually. And then I'm going to make a horizontal line that will finish my skylight off here. So if you wanted, again, I don't know if any of you are used to living around skylights, but you can often see in them. I don't think I could see in here because it's so close to the vanishing point, so I'm not going to do that line. I'm just going to do this one off in the distance. Depending on where you place your skylight, you might be able to see both sides of the kind of the box, but I don't think I could see that. Okay, and you'll notice probably when you do this that these are all very similar activities. The door, 3D'ing the door, the skylight, and the window. You're kind of making a rectangle. The rectangle got cut off here, but you can kind of see that there is a fine skylight here. Skylights are often those kind of interesting looking domes. I like the dome look of the skylight. Oops, he's back, y'all. He's back. Okay, Beast, get away. We had an intruder. I'm going to make a little bit of a dome skylight kind of situation here just to create the illusion of a skylight, right? Okay, so I have 4 different things you can try out in your work just to give it a little bit more reality and more fun. The last thing I wanted to show you was how to do a row of lights. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a line that shows where I can make the lights start. And I was thinking of having a row of kind of nice little hanging lights. So I'm also going to make a line that shows where the lights are going to end. So, and then to create this illusion, I'm going to go ahead and make like a chain or a cable that kind of hangs down every so often. So you can kind of get the illusion of lights hanging down from the sky, or from the ceiling, I should say. Okay, so there's 2 of them. There's 3. Oops. And I guess I probably have to envision that there's one more. You can't see the top of it, but we could see the bottom of it. So you can do whatever kind of little lamps you want. Little hanging globes, getting bigger as they come toward us, or little flower lamps, or little lampshade lamps, whatever works for you. I'm going to go ahead and do an ellipse up here just because that is something we have practiced. There we go. And then I can erase the extra bit, which is actually this line. Okay. So these lines are guidelines. We basically need to get rid of them when we're done with them, and then we can draw whatever it is we want to draw based on their support, right? So we can make all of this stuff look really, really realistic by shading and doing whatever it is that we want to do. Whoopsie, that one got a little off kilter. Sorry, drawing too fast here, you guys. Okay, so maybe I'll do a little chain. I know a lot of lights have these little chain things that let them hang on them. So once I've got my structure, I can actually start with my drawing, right? And make this whatever I want. The very last thing I often do is I sharpen things up, I darken things, and I let my own natural drawing style. I do not naturally draw with really sharp straight lines. So I'm just gonna go ahead and freehand it and make it my own, because then it doesn't feel like a vanishing point drawing, but rather feels like my own art. Okay, if you think of anything else you'd like to do here, by all means, you're welcome to. I'm going to do the horizon out there and a little cliff. This is going to be a cliffside retreat. You could put stuff on the back wall, art, a door, whatever you think of. Okay, there we go, my friends.